Well, today is the day. IGN is back with their Bo6 review. The likes and dislikes, they're not bad.
You ever wonder how a one-off co-op survival mode in a video game that used to put quotes about the horrors of war on screen when you died turned into this?
True, a Warzone simulator, I don't know.
16 years on, it's hard to reconcile what the original Nazi Zombies mode from 2008's World at War used to be with the outrageous Resident Evil 6 inspired campfest Zombies has become.
Interesting that they say RE6. I mean, you know, it's kind of crazy because it's like RE6 is almost like retro gaming, just like with BO3. BO3 is almost 10 years old, brother. Oh,
I'm not saying this in a bad way. Black Ops 6's take on the mode is thrilling and unique thanks to all new movement mechanics, good map designs, some absolutely killer Easter eggs, lots of truly absurd guns, and the glorious return of round-based gameplay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So while I might not understand how we got here, I'm definitely not complaining about the end result.
I mean, I think there is stuff to complain. It's interesting because they gave this an 8, right? And like that's pretty high. You know, IGN actually even gave Bo6's campaign a 9. So this is like the highest rated Call of Duty in a long time. You know,
they say that horseshoes and hand grenades.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, though. Reviewed on PC.
Black Ops 6's Zombies mode features two all-new maps. Terminus, a prison complex turned by a research station, and Liberty Falls, a small town in West Virginia whose slice of quaint Americana is about to test itself against the worst day ever.
Rick Kaufman, man.
Spoiler, it doesn't seem to be going well for the Americana. Nope. The story itself is a direct sequel to the Zombies campaign in 2020's Black Ops Cold War.
Yes,
if you, like me, have largely forgotten what happened in the intervening 4 years, there doesn't seem to be much of an attempt to catch you up. That means you're going...
I think it's very confusing. I do agree with that. Like, I don't know how casuals are supposed to understand what's going on, because I don't even know what's going on, man.
You hear a lot of proper noun-filled dialogue that have me going, I vaguely remember that person, a little too often.
Yeah.
By the way, I've decrypted more Tanofsky files.
Bro, also, Peck has a different voice actor in this game. I don't want to hear it. Somebody in chat's got to confirm it, bro, for real.
Said there are some neat story beats here. I'll avoid spoilers, but you get more out of each map if you pay attention to the subtle details.
Yeah.
I wish I could say the same for the mid-combat dialogue. Mostly I wanted the voices in my ear and the characters I was playing to shut up.
Your timing for this rescue mission is not ideal.
I do kind of think that the set crew dialogue that makes them the set crew is kind of just annoying at the end of the day as well. I do agree with that. I really hope they can fix that in terms of the story of this game now that they're bringing in Black Ops 4 assets for hopefully the future of this game. So
they have the modern video game character problem, which is to say they all talk too much.
Yes.
Their banter is like something compiled from a Schwarzenegger film penned by ChatGPT.
Is focusing that long really too much for you?
I agree. There's like less is more. That's what the old zombie games did so well that I agree. This game definitely struggles with.
Not expecting poetry here, but at least give me some Gears of War level banter, you know?
I guess we'll find out, huh?
Yeah.
Some of it is admittedly funny. I like Gray's one about how she wanted a protractor to calculate an impact angle, but mostly it's just kind of there.
I agree.
Is it normal to feel a bit jittery after that?
Dude, they better not make a whole section on Omni Movement. I don't think I've ever used Omni Movement once in my like 30, 40 plus hours of playing, man.
Writing aside, you know what is pretty sick? The gameplay.
Right.
The biggest change here is Omni Movement. Black Ops 6's
really
complete
is not the
overhaul of
biggest
Call of Duty's
change, though.
basic movement mechanics. You can sprint, slide, and dive in every direction, even chaining these moves together. You've also got a full 360 degrees of motion, which means you can do 6 stuff, like sprint backwards, pull off a retreating dive, put on the zombies approaching you from every angle, and then get up and keep moving before they even get close.
My only issue with this is that this maybe affects PhD Flopper. Maybe. Like, that's it. It doesn't really do much in zombies. At least, maybe I'm using it wrong. I don't know, but...
We haven't seen zombie killing moves like this since Resident Evil 6, minus a few suplexes here and there. Dear Treyarch, please add suplexes. Love. The point I'm making is that this feels good. That said, Omni Movement is more of a cool addition rather than something you'll use all the time, especially as the zombies get more numerous in the later rounds.
Yeah, I agree.
My favorite thing about this year's Zombies mode are the maps themselves. I prefer Liberty Falls over Terminus because I vibe.
That's just insane. I knew it though. I knew the casuals would prefer Liberty Falls over Terminus. I'm just horrified though that because of that, we're only getting Liberty Falls type maps in the future. Like granted, listen, for camel grinding, Liberty Falls definitely is the better option. I agree. But it's like, dang, it's crazy how many people prefer these like simplistic survival maps over maps like Terminus. It just shocks me all the time, man.
With its more open areas and the unique travel options you have, like those extremely entertaining zip lines.
Yeah, the zip
I
lines
also
are
enjoy
good.
its more traditional structure of pay essence to open doors over
Yes.
Terminus's restore power to the generators to open doors twist.
True, yeah. Firebase Z power is what somebody said in my chat once when I played this map. It really is like Firebase Z. I agree. Is it unnecessary? Yeah. Could it have been something different? For sure. I agree with this. Like, power is kind of weak on this map. But also, Liberty Falls just doesn't have power. It's always on, so...
But that's not to say Terminus doesn't do anything cool.
Yeah.
At one point, you have to use a little outboard-powered raft to venture to the smaller islands to
Yeah,
do the
the
next
rafts
step
are
in its
fun,
Easter
though.
egg-fueled story mode.
Yeah.
When my team and I first landed on a beach, a herd of zombies popped out of the ground like a bunch of really angry undead cabbages. But c'est la vie, right? C'est la undead? I don't speak French.
What are you talking about?
What I really do like are the Easter eggs unique to each map. Black Ops 6's Zombies mode has you constantly moving, unlocking new areas, and trying to complete that map's main quest during each round. That means a lot of running.
Moving is such a big point in this game. Like, you can really never stand still in this game, which, depending on what type of zombie player you are, it's a good and bad thing, I think.
For your life and trying to earn enough essence to open the way to the next area, buy a new weapon, or upgrade a gun you like at a pack-a-punch machine.
The pen is mightier than the
There's always
sword.
something to do,
Discovering
though.
the Easter eggs is most of the fun. You've got your main quest ones, of course, like solving the math equations in Terminus' science lab to build your incredibly powerful wonder weapon, or using it to then shoot some ceiling tentacles you've summoned and find the hard drive they've eaten.
Sir.
But
Yeah, like Terminus does feel more OG. I like that they're separating them, you know?
really fun stuff are the optional Easter eggs.
Yes.
Finding all the bowling shoes on Liberty Falls and going zombie bowling, for
Yeah.
example, or shooting a hidden skull on top of the church to do your own cover of It's Raining Men for extra resources. I don't want to spoil all of these, but
I actually, like, I'll be one of the first to say it. I think Black Ops 6 might have the best side Easter eggs out of any COD Zombies game I've ever played, especially for launch. Like, these are miles better than the 4 maps we got for BO4's, like, side Easter eggs. Like, those side eggs are nothing compared to the BO6 ones. The side eggs in here are fun, man. You can get a permanent double points. You can go bowling. I mean, that's great, man.
there are a lot of them, and they're all fun, some
Yes,
in pretty
I
wild
agree.
ways.
Yes, they are very strong.
My only
side
complaint
eggs.
is that to do the fun stuff, you'll essentially need a pre-built group. Every
True.
match-made group I ran with either had no idea what they were doing or didn't feel like talking, so our ability to make progress was limited. And
I think that's just the Call of Duty issue at the end of the day, because like other games incentivize team chat more. I do agree. Zombies needs to incentivize teamwork more in public matches. It's just so weird that you can play a game, and I agree, no one talks. Like, that is bizarre, for sure.
I don't just mean the Easter eggs. You'll need to know what perks to buy first,
Anybody got mouthwash?
be that increased speed or faster reload times, when to pack-a-punch your weapons with essence or upgrade their rarity with salvage,
Yep.
where to buy armor upgrades, what
Always
Easter egg
something to
goodies
do.
to save for late game,
Yep.
and a whole lot more.
Yeah.
The only thing I found not getting a lot of spin in my runs were gobblegums, single-use candies that return from Black Ops 3 and provide unique power-ups during matches.
I hate to agree with this, but it's so true. The fact that we are just on a fully mega system now makes it so that, like, I don't see a lot of people spinning for gobbles anymore. I mean, literally, even for the Liberty Falls Easter egg speedruns, for the first couple days, nobody was even using gobblegums for them. Like, that is so bizarre, especially when you're comparing it to BO3. So I do hope that something has to fix with that, like gobblegum earn rate, something. I do agree with this, though, IGN.
Essentially, you bring a customized pack into matches and then spend essence at gobblegum machines to get
Yeah.
them mid-match.
Yeah.
You can also earn them by finishing challenges and completing rounds. It's a cool idea, and there are some strong gobblegums out there, like
Yeah.
Wonder Bar, which will give you a guaranteed wonder weapon the next time you open
So
a mystery
OP.
box,
Yeah.
but my team generally felt it was better to spend money on more expensive guaranteed boons, like a Pack-a-Punch upgrade, rather than to gamble on the less expensive gobblegums.
And I think that is like the biggest issue as well with like wall guns and mystery box. It's like, I've said this before, you're more focused on the rarity color than the gun itself, or you're more focused on the tier pack-a-punch than just enjoying the gun itself. And like, that is just the inherent flaw, I feel like, with this issue. And also, like, the new point system still sucks. But yeah, again, if we went back to the old point system where people genuinely got more points over time, then I think it would be better.
Don't
For
get me
sure.
wrong, learning to make sense of all this stuff is part of the fun.
Yeah.
If you've played zombies before, some of it will come naturally, but it does require a lot of coordination, and if you don't have that, well, you could be in for a rough time.
Yeah, for
Treyarch
sure.
plans to provide a more guided, story-focused version of the mode later on that will disable Easter eggs and side quests, but I kinda wish it was here now so I didn't have to roll the matchmaking dice every time my friends were busy.
I am kind of shocked, to be honest, that it's not out. Like, it's been over a week, and honestly, like, what's the point of even having the guided mode already? Like, people have put out their Easter egg guides, it's all been up. I don't really understand that. I agree. I also just hope that they don't kill DLC hype as well by introducing the guided mode even just a tad bit too early. So, I don't know. For something that they were really advertising, it is weird that it's just not in the game now. And then also a classic mode might be returning. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting.
At least any account progression you earn in zombies carries over to the multiplayer if you want to take a break.
Cross progression is nice. I agree. And I mean, we're really going to have to see, like, this rating of 8 out of 10 for me personally, like, could definitely change. I personally don't think the game is an 8 out of 10. I'm still leaning towards, like, 6 or 7. But again, I think it'll change over the lifetime for sure.
If you want to do the main quest, you'd better be in it for the long haul.
Oh, yes,
Completing a
brother.
map can take hours, even if you're
Yeah.
doing it right.
Yeah.
And you can't
What's
save your
new, though?
progress unless you're playing solo. The first time I cleared Liberty Falls, for instance, it took our group about 3 hours.
3 hours for Liberty Falls? No. Brother, it's 2 freaking steps. You build the LTG device, you spawn them in, and then that's it. I literally have a video up on my main channel how to skip the boss fights on both the maps too. What the frick? 3 hours? Bro, this is the thing. Like, I was looking at my Terminus Easter egg guide, and people were complaining that that was too difficult. And I was like, bro, I hope y'all never load up Black Ops 4, bro.
We were admittedly doing a lot of optional stuff, but that is
Okay.
still a long time.
Again, it does progress through the rounds, so Easter eggs in this game and with every game are more beneficial to just start your run with having that in mind. Like, doing it earlier is always better.
Getting near the end of a map and dying is soul-crushing, not because you
Yes.
failed, but because of how long it can take to do all of it again.
Yeah.
One night, we got most of the way through a map, died, and then tried again for about 10 rounds before all of us realized we were exhausted.
Also, and this game is extremely punishing. If you down a lot, especially in co-op, you're pretty much cooked unless people are running like Phoenix Up or near-death experience or whatnot. So, yeah, I can agree. Like, I haven't played co-op, but I know co-op can be very tough.
And should probably just pick things back up tomorrow.
Yeah.
There are also some annoying bugs. Sometimes I couldn't interact with objects and my teammates would have to, so we could progress.
Oh,
While
weird.
other times trying to pick up our wonder weapon would always drop the same, super upgraded pack-a-punch gun instead of the cheap one we wanted to give up. We also
I mean, isn't that just how it works? I do agree, though, that the glitches are a little bit annoying and they will get fixed. But, yeah, again, to me, this game is going to be made or broken by its DLC for sure.
had mid-match disconnects and stuttering.
Yeah,
No big
tons of
multiplayer game
stuttering
launches
on
without
solo.
similar problems, but they're no fun either way.
I
Once
agree.
we couldn't even get out of a match properly. We didn't lose progress, thankfully, but it was still obnoxious.
Don't worry, mate.
Yeah, save and quit has been such a blessing for this, but it's also been such a curse for high rounds specifically. I've basically heard that, like, for round 100 in Black Ops 6, it's half the amount of zombies as any other zombies game that came before it. You only need 12,000 kills, whereas opposed to, like, Cold War and every other game, it's like 24,000 to 30,000 plus. And so there's definitely been a nerf on the amount of zombies because we are always online, which I think is a massive, massive issue. But I'm curious, like, he's
I can
gave
sum
it
up
a lot
Black
of
Ops
praise.
6's
What's the
zombie mode with
verdict?
a quote from one of the guys I was playing with. I don't think I have the right sniper rifle because the enemies aren't exploding. He wasn't being figurative. There's a sniper rifle that, when upgraded, literally shoots grenades.
I am very glad that Treyarch has added more exciting features back to the Pack-a-Punch, and they kind of fixed my issue with the snipers by making them explosive. So, because that solves, number one, the penetration damage, where the lack thereof for snipers, and number two, they're actually very viable and almost the meta. So, W in the chat for whoever decided to do that at Treyarch.
There are
Real.
spider monsters that explode from the corpses of dead zombies in hordes so big that if you're not careful, they will kill your whole team before one of you can say, "Please revive me, I have a
sir.
ray gun."
Yeah.
It is absurd and campy and amazing and goofy in all the right ways. When you clear a map for the first time, that monumental task will have you feeling equal parts exhausted and triumphant. There are some annoyances here and there in terms of bugs, but that hasn't made me want to stop playing. In fact, I think I'll hop back into Terminus tonight. There are a couple more Easter eggs I want to track down.
It's so nice having two maps, having that like dichotomy of, oh, I'm bored of Terminus, let's go Liberty Falls. I'm bored of Liberty Falls, let's go Terminus. It feels so refreshing. It feels just like the BO3 days in that regard. And honestly, yeah, I am enjoying BO6 too. I'm grinding it. I'm enjoying it. I'm getting the Nebula camo. But once I get that Nebula camo though, Treyarch, this is where the seasonal content begins. And we start with Christmas, so
and who knows? See. Maybe eventually I'll play the rest of Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
But right now, I've got zombies to kill.
Dude, that's what I think, man. Honestly, IGN, that might be one of the best reviews I've ever seen. IGN, that's crazy.